how the story goes, we find out by the treasure in the grand line, there's no doubt. The pirate whose eye is on it, he'll sing, I'll be king of the pirates, I'm gonna be king.
Hey guys, King of Charmanders here, and today I bring you the Brute Tigrex Gold Medal. 1,000 plus slays, over 100 plus Rarity 6, and my best results ever. As far as any other event, I decided to grind and go after that exclusive gold medal for whatever monster it be. I have one for Zinogre, I have one for Mizutsune, I have one for a lot of other monsters, including the ever so popular and the ever so godly powerful Black Diablos. But there is one more powerful, and that is Brute Tigrex. As Brute Tigrex is the first boss subspecies in the game and one of the most powerful monsters, as I review my Brute Tigrex gold medal journey. Since I had the Black Diablos gold medal, I was like, you know what? I wanted to take on the challenge of getting a Brute Tigrex medal to gold. As soon as they announced that special hunt ticket event, I was like, you know what? I can do this. I want to be the GOAT. At least for Monster Hunter Now English creators, because no one else does this except me on this side for the top ones. So here we go. Let's do it. But first, we got a plan, and we got to go over them builds. So I definitely planned, and although Malzeno is going to come out, you know what? I have the Brute Tigrex. My #1 Brute Tigrex build versus this dang thing was the Charge Master Near Gigante bow build. This is the build I used during solo hunts, and this is a full drift melt build with 5 times Charge Master. Yes, during the hundreds of drift melts I do, you know, the only one that actually does this on the top English side, because I insta-smelt, and I pray to RNGs just like you guys do, and I actually got it after all the pain and suffering. But here we go, we have it. And the best Neargi bow build currently before Malzeno breaks the dragon meta. This is what I mean by kicking myself in the butt. To be fair, I've already mentioned before, I don't know where the best skills are going to slot in, etc. ahead of time. So, yeah, this wasn't actually terrible. But with this build, I could easily tear through 6 and 7 star Brute Tigrex and slay 8 star Brute Tigrexes in about 30-40 seconds. So this was definitely the build I wanted to use. So for this one, it was the Azarazo Summon at grade 8, the Pink Rathian Male at grade 8, Beatos Round Bases at grade 8, Devil Jewel Coil at grade 8, and the Ebony Odo Garen Greaves at grade 8. Evade Extender 1 from the Greaves went in and came in clutch as heck. This has Focus 5, Charge 5, and Dragon Attack 5 maxed out. Part Breaker was essential to make sure I break them parts and get that damage done. And my Near Gigante bow was at grade 10.5 maxed out. Next up, I have 2 other builds, builds 2 and 3 versus Brute Tigrex, a Dual Blades Part Breaker and Magnum Malo Light Bowgun Stepping Shot build. These were the 2 builds I used in group hunts, and the Black Diablos Dual Blades build was to cut the tail if we had no other Dual Blade user in the lobby. So if we didn't have a DB user in the lobby, especially for the 8 stars, if you want to kill that thing really quickly, you needed at least 1 DB, and then you actually knew how to time and use that spec, because you could break the tail really quickly, effectively ending 8 stars lives in very, very few amounts of seconds. In addition, I used the Magna Malo Light Bowgun Stepping Shot Evading Reload style build, and is what I used for the 9-star Brute Tigrex, and if I didn't have my special skill gauge filled for the Dual Blades build. This thing was absolutely amazing. It was great and it came in clutch, because if you were good enough, you could easily target the forearms and break them. I wasn't just saying this, plenty of people were using this thing, and if for rightfully so, it was really dang good. Because Brute Tigrex, again, is so large, that cluster bomb damage was ridiculous, and you could break them forearms and stun this thing and give you an easy time for the rest of your teammates. For the Dual Blades build, I had Fulgur Anjanath Helmet at grade 8, the Betelgeuse Mail at grade 8, Espinas Vambrace at grade 8, the Espinas Coil at grade 8, and the Betelgeuse Greaves at grade 6. It was Valor just to fill my gauge if it roared again so I could use it for the next one, and I had my Black Diablos Dual Blades maxed out at grade 10.5. As for my Magnum Malo Light Bowgun Stepping Shot build, it was at grade 10, full 2020 maxed out, Black Diablo Summon at grade 8, Espinas Mail at grade 8, Somnicant Greaves at grade 6, Espinas Coil at grade 8, and the Chatacabra Greaves at grade 6. This was the Pursuit build. It worked wonders. You break one part, that 45% damage was nuts, and allowed me to break other parts from Brute Tigrex, like the head and the other forearm, relatively quickly. And moving on, before you start off any event, you have to have a strat. So I had this strat. So I was going to do as many Brute Tigrex Huntathons as possible. I was going to do a majority of my grind the second week, as it was double drops for the first 2 slots. Efficiency is something that I pride in. If I am going to use the most time I got work, I got other things to do, etc. So because of that, I want to make sure I am using the most out of my time. I don't just kill a bunch of regular monsters, and there's nothing wrong with this, but I don't inflate my hunter rank, etc. by killing monsters that aren't either 1 meta, 2 don't have a purpose, or 3 if there's no event going on. So my hunter rank is exclusive off killing really ridiculously hard stuff or grinding Elder Dragons, something of that sort. When they announced the Huntathon ticket, I was like, you know what? That sounds like I could get the gold medal really easily because I was doing the things in my head. You could do 2 Huntathons in 1 node with a total of 10 Brute Tigrex per point. Because of this, I didn't have to do much travel time in between points. And I was like, you know, this is actually something that's really, really doable. So you know what? After looking at my Black Diablo's gold medal, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get the Brute Tigrex one so I could be absolutely goated and solidify myself as the GOAT for the top English YouTubers. Yay. We're going to get another gold medal. Whoopee. But for any of you that have actually gone after one of these things or slayed hundreds of them, I remember someone in my comments was like, haha, I've really beaten you. They haven't said a thing since I got the gold medal, so they probably didn't slay 1,000. But for those of you that were like, I slayed only 800 or whatever, if you slayed even 300, you did so much more than every other English YouTuber on the platform, literally. I guarantee they didn't slay hundreds at all. Literally. So you are doing great. You are hardcore. I respect your grind, and don't sell yourself short. You are amazing. So before the special Huntathon ticketed event, I only slayed 266, which is still a big number, but again, efficiency. So what I did after this was I was like, all right, I was going to just go ham, and I ended at 1,002 Brute Tigrex. This meant I slayed 736 Brute Tigrex in 3 days. No, seriously. I have the picture of when I started out right here. And I started with about 155 Huntathon tickets and ended up with about 42. So I still got a good number sitting in my storage, totaling about 110 plus tickets used for this event. Here's the thing though, I didn't actually buy any tickets for this event. These are all saved from season pass rewards, previous purchase, etc. So hoarding all these tickets, the ultra hunting tickets, was totally worth it. Because I didn't use them for anything. So I used them all for this event. I can kind of predict if you did it too, that we're not going to have something worthy of you splurging your tickets that you saved up in the future anytime soon. So it was totally worth it. Speaking of worth it, this event was totally worth it because I now have new super weapons. These are my Brute Tigrex event weapons and armor forge results, and I managed to max out 2 Brute Tigrex weapons to 10.5. We only do it one way on my channel, baby. We insta max. And these 2 that I maxed out were the lance and the longsword. And I was also able to max the Halloween hunting horn that was available in the first week. And I was able to forge and upgrade 1 armor piece to grade 8. So everyone's wondering like, wait, why didn't you do the bow, which was my 3rd goal? Well, here's the thing. I ran out of sharp claws and monster bone materials, so I had to cruise around and travel to other cities near me to get more materials. It was double mats for those gatherable materials. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go around, find those density points I have around me, and I'm going to go ahead and gather all of those. But it was totally worth it. It was excessively painful because I was like, the funny thing is, literally, I actually dumped a bunch of sharp claws and monster bone smalls that I actually needed to forge these. Because if you look at those max material requirements, it's a lot. And you need, I believe it's 600, I'm literally memorizing, it's 678 sharp claws to go from forge to max for any of the Brute Tigrex weapons. It's also like 554 monster bone smalls, I believe. I already had a lot of the other materials because I ordered the 2 to 3s anyways. But yeah, making sure everything else was high, I was like, wow. And there's the second Instamax right there. Bang, baby. However, the thing is, it doesn't really matter. I have more than enough materials to max out the last S tier Brute Tigrex weapon. I mentioned the bow and grade 8 all the Brute Tigrex armor pieces. Here's a skull whistle right here. Bam, maxed out. Right there. In addition, I got 1 piece. When I was looking around, I was like, you know, I need to make content. I know y'all have requests for Brute Tigrex armor, etc. content for like the Magnum light bow gun, but this was a lot of grinding, okay? Here's the piece, and like I mentioned, I only go one way. This isn't Insta Max, but this is Insta Grade 8. Here you go. The Rexor Van Brace is at Grade 8, but this was a sweet grind, and here's all the evidence to solidify me as a GOAT. By the way, GOAT means greatest of all time. I don't believe I had the greatest of all time when it comes to Rarity 6 drops. I had Telesaurian. You're awesome, dude. I appreciate you, by the way. He had 800 slays. He's amazing. So, if you're wondering, I ended up with a total of 193 Rarity 6 plates out of 1,002 slays. 137 shown here. I used 54 to max 2 Brute Tigrex weapons. And I used 2 to grade 8 1 armor piece. So, if you did the math, etc., it totals 193. Yes, this is all after I powered all those things up, so this is accurate. This means I have more than enough materials to max multiple Brute Tigrex weapons and grade 8.10 all the armor. I can literally max out all the armor if I wanted to too. As for all the other materials, I have so many Rarity 1 through 5s. My storage is literally crying for help right now. Like, I dumped so many, like, I hoard all subspecies materials. I will not and refuse to dump them. So the rest of my spaces were like, okay, we need to find something to get rid of. So I had to do some house cleaning. As far as carving knives goes, doubling up, I used about 30 to 35 of them, and I stopped at around 77 plates. Actually, I think I stopped at 77 because I was like, you know what? I'm going to go overkill on plates. I think I got this after day 1 on Friday. So after Friday, with the remaining 2 days, and I still had time to hunt on Friday, I was like, wow. I'm going to go overkill. No need to double up anymore. So yeah, 193. Absolutely insane numbers right here. So I'm really happy with my results. And last but not least, we have the event feedback. There was a lot of bugs. I kept getting kicked out of Huntathons. Here's an example right here. You know, everything's all getting fine and dandy. I'm like, wait, why am I lagging a little bit? And then it's like, move to a place with good reception. I'm standing in the same place where this had even loaded. What are you talking about? And this happened like 4 or 5 times before the servers, I think, stabilized or whatever. And things actually went out well. But yeah, this was really annoying. There should have been an option to skip the complete/slay screen to speed up the hunt result page. There should be an option. This game's been out for 2 years. No, seriously, can I skip that end page and the death animation? Even if it would save me a few seconds of my life. In hunts like this, where you're killing hundreds of the same monster, it really works out. Or if you're doing a solo like me right over here, and you're just trying to get by your day. No, seriously, it would be really great. Honestly, there should have been more perks, such as boosted hat spawns or something like that. If the Huntathons were different, like it was Brute Tigrex instead, why weren't they available, like, more? I know, like, there was a lot of them popping up around, but I mean, like, it should have been, like, a lot higher, in my opinion. In some often reasons, I would have to go from one place to another, a decent distance, to find an active Brute Tigrex hat. And I don't know why. Probably the biggest gripe I have about the event, bring back the hunter rank requirements for Huntathon/Elder Dragon interceptions. Honestly, it was super annoying to pair with hunters that were clearly looking to get carried and barely did any damage to Brute Tigrex. I know a lot of y'all found that in your groups. Luckily, it wasn't the case over here. As you see, there was a super sweet double Rarity 6 drop. Unfortunately, I already had all the ones I needed for my weapons and armor, so I didn't double this one. But still, some of it was very great. Hopefully, you all managed to get everything you needed from the first ever special Huntathon ticketed event. Huge thanks and honor to my community, all of y'all that I hunted with. I love all of y'all. In fact, I plan on making a video specifically for recordings I have hunting with all of you. I have definitely some. My boy Drake Neos here on there as well. Tyler Anderson, I think I have one of us, aka Sparky. I'm gonna take a look at that, but I'm gonna gather all of this and all the comments just in appreciation for all of y'all, because honestly, I would have never survived killing 1,000 of these if I didn't see some of y'all in that lobby. Like, I think near the end, like, literally seeing Drake News was like, alright, you know what, this is the last one. I can get through it so I can get that gold medal. And I plan on insta-maxing the Brute Tigrex Insect Glaive when it releases, or if it releases. There is one in Monster Hunter World Iceborne, the Accursed Rod, so I plan on definitely insta-maxing that as soon as it comes out. So again, there is a Brute Tigrex variation for the Insect Glaive. So hopefully it has a great equipment skill as well. Otherwise, I'm going to insta-max it anyways, just because I need a good Insect Glaive to gold that medal. With that being said, please do me a huge favor. Like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. I hope y'all got everything, again, you needed for the Brute Tigrex event. You maxed out all the weapons armor you need. If not, don't worry about it. It's likely going to come back for, like, the Season 7 Climax and for future events. Good luck on your grinds. Good luck on your drops and everything you do. And I will see y'all on the next video.